over soon.
Okay, good ones this time. All choice.
Is that your bingo board?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I think find plane still has to be one of them.
Okay.
That should be the middle one.
Oh, that's the free
That's
space.
free. Haven't you ever played this game?
Free space.
I wrote free. God damn it.
I think the word free can be turned into find.
Well, now it just got scribbled
Yeah,
out.
it's got a scratch through it.
Altimeter's giving really bad returns right now.
What's that?
Altimeter's not giving like any returns, and we're like fairly close to the bottom.
All right, there you go.
Do you want me to pull that up for a minute?
Well, no, that's a sub bottom. We don't have that
oh.
on right now because it tends to interfere with the altimeter.
Oh, okay.
You've got 3 options.
Yeah, I got a
17, 57,
back.
and
Yeah,
999.
yeah, we're back now.
Oh, let's go with that one.
999?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
I mean, yeah, I kind of have it from, you know, the side scan, but I don't know. Like, I wouldn't think the thrusters would affect that because it's so far away, but sound does travel really far, so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're almost down the side of this. Things will smooth out in a minute.
Yeah.
The really fun thing about towing the sonar when it was actually built into the towfish in the Black Sea was we're using Jebco data, which at the time was basically like a couple of soundings and everything else was made up. So there were entire like ridges that were just not on the map at all. So it was just like, oh my god, and haul in really fast. So this is definitely better. Going
Yeah, I got to put them
slower.
on there anyway, just for fun.
You should put on
Dan induced change.
Yeah. What's that, Steven?
Well, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah. Good chance it'll be me. It's not a good chance, it just has happened.
Yeah, if you pick all the things that already happened, they may not happen again.
That's right.
Yo, I feel like, I mean, we can openly talk about the ones that we don't really have control over, you know what I mean? Like,
like, don't say the ones like Mike says.
That's
this.
right, yeah.
yeah.
Then I would never ever say it.
Mike
can't
explains
tell the
the
viewers.
sonar.
I would have to.
Yeah, we actually have a question about that. What causes the spaghetti lines?
The spaghetti. Oh wait, on the side scan. Well, we think they look more like ramen, but yeah.
Yeah, they're ramen.
So those are. We just came out of a really hilly area that has a lot of rock. So this area is so the Samoan Islands are volcanic. So we've seen quite a few like lava flows and lava tubes and stuff. So a lot of these are small volcanic rocks that are on the surface, especially in these hilly areas. And so what you're seeing is kind of like we're getting multiple pings on them because we're going slow. So you just see them stretched out for that reason. So it's just you're just seeing rocks.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it might be the jet pump that's messing up the altimeter.
Yeah, thanks for the
It
explanation.
gets really loud like that. It just gives me like, now it's giving me numbers. I don't know.
Up to 24 knots.
I think we prefer to tow Argus at like 1 to 2.
Yeah, sorry. Ship's going a little quick. Knots of wind.
Mike, we had a bunch of people wishing you happy birthday.
Oh, that's very nice. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as we got the schedule for Nautilus, I was like, oh, there's another birthday at sea.
What a happy place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you spend enough birthdays at sea and you're just like, oh, this is cool, you know. You're with a lot of friends and the crew and everything, and you know, it's nice. And then you spend a couple holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then you start to, it's like, I'm missing a lot. Are you saying something, Steven? Oh, sorry. I keep hearing like some noise.
I was saying something to Mike.
Ah,
It's probably something you're not allowed to know.
yeah.
It's on one of the bingo boards.
Secrets are no fun unless I am a part of one.
Secrets are for everyone, is how
Oh
that
man,
ends.
your camera there.
No, they're not for everyone. I just want to be a part of one.
What's going on with that thing, Steve?
It just got some new suspension that we tried out.
Doesn't look like
And
it's
it-
great suspension.
It's not working.
Seems a bit loose. Oh, seasick.
Yeah, I wasn't involved in that. I'm not taking that.
Well, me.
And the winner of Not My Job Award goes to...
There's actually like 2 types of springs that were used, and I think hopefully it gets switched because cam aft has springs, but they're tighter. That's the one in 6. Seems to be more stable. But also that just might be more shaky over there on port.
Yeah, I saw this thing once. It was like, I really think inside jokes are some of the funniest. I'd love to be a part of one someday.
I've heard that one before too.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be turning onto the new lines just at the end of our watch.
I was expecting to finish the lines in our watch. That would have been a...
We are. We're finishing.
Yeah.
We'll finish this last line, which is the last one in the original box.
Oh,
Then
okay.
we'll start the new lines to the very end of our watch.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yep. So
Cool.
you are correct.
Perfect. I don't know if that makes a lot of difference, but...
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Changing direction, switching things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that is the direction the wind's in,
Yeah, it's true.
at least right now.
What do you mean? I don't get it.
Ooh, that's a good one. You gotta keep that.
Oh, on the bingo board? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm just talking to myself.
Oh, Steven's trying to communicate stuff, and I'm just completely missing it.
Doing
right over
sign
my
language
head.
over there? What's he doing?
Yeah, we're not looking for easy here.
Gotta get Dan in there. Gonna do some?
Yeah, I'll think of some.
Now, do these bingo boards, is it just you guys, or does it go between watches?
They got their own bingo, but
All
they
right.
just have words.
Like people
So if
saying
someone says a
things.
word.
Just
Yeah,
a word.
That's no fun.
Oh, I don't have a clue.
That probably ends really fast if you pick the right words, like
Yes.
Like
yeah, that's
sonar,
Not the
like
point of
cucumber
it,
and
yeah.
sonar and
rock.
Argus, mud,
Yeah.
Gauges.
line, turn,
Mike.
They're
USBL.
basically
Wind
cheating.
speed.
Oh, that's a good one. 30 plus knots of wind.
Oh. Hoping you never get that one.
It happened once.
That's a hard one to get. You shouldn't be getting that one.
Yeah, you don't want to you don't want to root for something bad. I was thinking of saying like, oh, put garbage on the seafloor, but then I was like, you don't want to.
We had that on the last one.
We had that on
and
the last
ever
one.
since we put it down, we didn't see another piece of
All right,
garbage.
well, put it again then.
So,
Didn't want that one.
oh.
What's going on with this? Does a contour line cross itself, or is that like two different lines that touch?
Something
I
wrong.
think right where they look like they touch, it's actually, if you zoomed in, just a tiny sliver
Okay.
of space.
Yeah, so there, it looks like there's a circle
Right.
one, and then the other one goes around
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I was
But
like,
I
I'm
see
pretty
what
sure
you-
contour lines can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That defeats
Oh,
the
yeah.
purpose.
What if it was like a tunnel though?
A tunnel?
There'll be dotted lines.
It's a wormhole.
So for these contour lines, how do you know if it's going up or down?
You don't.
Yeah. You look. Well, you can look at the shade of blue and green,
Mm-hmm.
because the multibeam's also contoured or colored. but in this zoomed in version, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
I kind of learned after the first line or two, like, okay, when we're going this way, it's up. When we're going that way, it's down. And
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
this area.
like
yeah,
you
for
kind
sure.
of learn the terrain of the area.
General pattern. But if I go ahead and zoom out here, it's a lot easier to tell what's raised up, what's lighter, what's
Yeah.
darker.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, and then we just know the general idea. Yeah, usually,
Darker is deeper, right?
yes. And then the lighter green is up as you get closer to the island. But usually on like a surface topographic map, you'd have reference lines that would be labeled.
Yeah, usually every
so many feet.
It's usually every 5, like whether it's in 20s, it'd be the hundreds. If it's in hundreds, it'd be the hundreds and 500 or something like that. Yeah.
But we just put in these lines based on the bathymetry just for reference. So we're not trying to.
It's enough to know whether it's flat or steep or
Yeah.
Yeah.
what to kind of expect.
It's not user friendly. It's just Nautilus friendly.
I know, we had good ones. That's a good one.
Just missed that one.
Yeah, just, we think about them like we can just get it done by the end of the shift. Fill them all in and then we'll think of good ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were, I remember. Oh, nice.
No spoilers.
That's
but
strange.
anyone else watch Game of Thrones?
Yep.
You,
All the way through.
You finished all the way? Yeah. I was just saying, I have just the last episode to watch.
Really?
Yeah. Because I went underway on my ship right before it came out.
I'm gonna mark this on target.
Roger.
It's
that's cool.
60 meters to starboard.
60 to starboard.
Do you have a description for it?
Blocky with strange protrusions. And some scour. I have no idea what target number this is.
This is target 57.
Oh,
I haven't done one sentence.
It's been an entire, like, 12 hours since
The last target.
they dropped a target.
Really?
Well, we
Yeah, we
dropped
were
56
yep.
at
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
hour
Wow.
56 and 5
Wow,
minutes.
none of the other watches dropped a single target.
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, cool thing that we're going west. It seems like we kind of...
That's a strange right angle in the shadow, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
is. It's pretty sharp.
Are you good here?
Yes.
So is a right angle any more rare than a 70-degree angle or a 40-degree angle? Is it 90
In nature or by man-made?
in nature?
I'd say perfect angles would be equally as...
Yeah, I mean, if it's a sharp angle, whether it's exactly 90 degrees or not, I think it's just, you know, rock tends to be kind of jagged or, you know, broken up and not in straight lines.
Right.
I'd say it's the straight lines more than the angles. That's the unusual thing.
Yeah.
Even some rocks that you see that are like the way they've cooled has formed them into that kind of more crystalline structure. It's still not a square, you know, you're looking at like hexagons
Yeah.
or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess 90 degrees would be more rare in that case then.
So when you're looking at it, are you imagining which part of an airplane that could be?
Yeah, imagining. I'm not really sure what the answer is. I guess maybe part of a wing. Thing is that there's nothing else around it. So where's the rest of the debris field?
Mm-hmm.
That would be the record. Herc's is 70 something, 76 or 78,
Yeah.
something like that.
Argus 80 plus hours.
That's the record. So far, we're at it.
Oh no, that's bingo square.
Oh,
We're looking for it.
Gotcha.
How much longer is that then? Not too much longer, but it would be a record over Herc.
Well, that's fun. Though not what we planned.
No.
I'm gonna pull that up into the lower part of the screen and just go chat with some other people real quick. Rebecca, if something else interesting comes up, just right-click on the screen.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it here, and then we can still watch up there. I'll be right back.
Anarchy.
What?
Hmm? No.
Well, we can see the upper view.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're getting a lot of noise on the outside of the lower frequency one right now. I also have control of it over here too. I've been trying not to bump the mouse, but I can, yeah, drag around.
Hello, hello. Yeah? Is
Hey.
it working?
Yep.
So is that target? Oh, 57. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we have a grandson asking about the different colors on channel 1. So
Oh, on the side scan?
on the sun, yeah.
Yeah, so the general bottom is that brownish orange color that you see. That's just the color they've assigned to the certain amount of sound that they get back on the sonar. The bright yellow is harder things that reflect more sound, like rocks or hopefully a plane. And the dark colors are shadows. So the areas, whether they be like this one looks like it's a hole coming up on the right side, where the sound just kind of gets lost or can't get to. On the left side behind that rock, you can see that the sound didn't get to it, so it's black. And then the red and green lines are where the program is estimating the bottom to be, based on where it's getting its returns.
Thank you, Chris. So the temperature here in the van is pretty lower than outside. So right now, what is that?
Well, it says it's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. That's up
That's
here by the computers. I've got a
best
few.
guess. I'd say 70, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's maybe like 85 outside.
It's pretty nice outside.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful
it's nice and a little bit cooler
tropical
today.
island, but today was a nice day. It was not that hot.
Yeah, the consensus is it's pretty cool. It's like if we were to go target check stuff, it'd be on the higher priority list, but they're not going to change any of the plans for it. Also, I'm thinking I might get bounced out of my bunk tonight. It's getting really strong out there. Fortunately, not the swell, just the wind. No, 22 knots, that's not that bad.
Yeah, it peaked and then is starting to slowly come back down.
Yeah. There's some nice angry clouds around, though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, you can see them a little bit in camera 6 above us.
See, camera 6. No, I don't have access to that one. Oh, here. Okay, yeah, cool.
There you go.
Still learning that I have Steve next to me, so
Yeah, you have all the video.
The
that I
video
have all
master.
the video master, all the images that I want.
Whatever you do, Steve, don't put 7 up through the satellite. You're just going to make people seasick
Yeah, right?
at home.
Like, oh, look, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
It's the full experience.
Yeah. I feel like you're moving with us.
Well, we aren't moving like that. That's just the camera
No, that's
moving
just the
like
camera.
that.
Well, because I mean, I think it was Steve, you were telling me that before they mounted the cameras on springs, the vibration from the engine made the image like almost like you couldn't even see
Yeah, it was pretty.
They've been battling with that for years. That was an issue a long time ago, and they put these like neoprene spacers in there that really helped, but I don't know, I guess they wear out over time, or maybe didn't help as much as, I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, all the other cameras seem to be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
They haven't taken my suggestion of putting like gimbals in there.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's probably not worth it.
Yeah, well, I mean, we do pride the quality of video that we can send out, so it might be worth it.
Yep.
Then again, I suppose deck cameras don't go out often when, during ROV dives, which is when most people watch.
Yeah, the problem with the gimbals though is that it wouldn't move with the ship, so it would stay more or less.
So you'd watch the ship.
It's balanced as if it's on land, so it uses like gravity as its reference.
Oh yeah.
The ship would be wobbling in frame.
Oh right, the ship would move and it would stay still. Yeah, that wouldn't be helpful at all.
Yeah.
That'd actually make it worse. We could put a gravity field inside the ship.
There we go.
And then make it gimbal.
No, this is really confusing my brain. I'm looking out at the aft cam, out the back of the boat, but we're facing forward. So as my head moves one way, that camera moves the wrong way, you know?
We're trying to line up these horizons.
Well, don't do that.
My brain is really confused.
How's that? Oh,
Oh, I see what you mean now.
there we
You're
go.
kind of moving the direction the horizon moves, not the direction the ship moves.
Yeah.
Fun times. That'll get you motion sick. Do you get seasick?
No, not really.
That's good.
I've gotten pretty bad a lot of times, but I was sitting next to like a partially open gas can
Yeah.
down under deck,
Mhm.
so I'm not really sure if that was seasickness or...
Fumes and heat can actually
Yeah.
make motion sick worse. Being in in a cool place that is open to the air helps a lot.
So, but no, I've had no problems on board, thankfully.
Yeah, the few times that I've gotten like all the way seasick was similar. It was like in a hot cabin looking at a computer screen
Yeah,
with
focusing is really bad.
with fumes coming in. Yeah. Typically, I just need to lay down for a bit and then I'm okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's all like, your body does adjust slightly, but a lot of times it's really just how your body's engineered, how your inner ear is able to compensate with
Yeah.
the motion,
Or not.
or not compensate.
We've got a very observant viewer who's noticed that we use the deck cams when we're in port a lot, where you can see the port, and they said the best way to tell you're about to leave is when that camera starts to shudder.
Yep, that's when
Yep.
Thor awakens.
Thor has roared, and
Yeah.
the fun's about to start. That was from Moya. Moya.
Very observant.
Oh, she writes them, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
Heard that name before on
Yep.
previous
Oh,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, happy to have you watching.
Yeah, it's great that you keep following us over the years. So I have a question about if the ship is using DPS to walk sideways in order to keep the bow into the weather.
Yeah, so basically short for dynamic positioning system.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is a little harder when the wind picks up for the ship to compensate, because this is a more precision tool. It moves the ship slowly and sometimes sideways into the wind, which is very difficult when you have the entire side of the ship with all the wind blowing on it. We just act like a big sail. But yeah, for these slow lines, that's what we're using to make sure we're staying on track.
I just put up the DP screen in the quad view.
Oh, yep. So what you're looking at right there, our bridge has control of that. So they switch back between screens every once in a while. But the yellow line is the wind. It's a little longer because it's at 25 knots, and the direction, it's pointing the direction the wind is going. The white line off the stern of the ship's picture there is what our thrusters are doing. And the blue line in the middle of the ship is the calculated current, which it's pointed directly at our stern because it thinks that Argus is current because it is providing resistance.
So that's showing the force that's pulling on the ship.
Yeah.
And then so that means the white arrow, that means we're thrusting
So
this, towards the starboard side? Yeah.
yeah, so you see that the wind's blowing us like southwest.
Yep.
And so the wind is actually moving us just about like along the direction we want to go. And so the thruster is actually pulling back a little bit
Gotcha.
to counter that. As opposed to if the thruster moved us directly along our line at 1 knot, that would get added to the speed that the wind is pushing us, and that would be faster than we would want to go.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, so they just changed it over to the tracking screen. So that green line is the line that we're tracking along. You still have the yellow and blue vector for wind and current. But that's how, when we're not doing small steps like we do with Herc in the water, this is how we maintain lines for prolonged periods
I have to say
of
they're
time.
really quite good at this. There's certainly, when we installed the DP system, there was certainly a learning curve, both on our side with the navigators and ROVs, as well as just with the people operating it. But they've done a great job keeping the lines, even with like shifting wind conditions, like going from 4 knots to 27 knots.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't tell, even watching a high pack, that the winds are changing, which is important.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the line's mostly straight with 28, 29.
Yeah.
Oh, almost. No, 29.8 knots. That's
not
killer.
30.
Yeah, but no, we give basic directions, but the bridge takes care of staying on the line and all of that stuff. And yeah, typically in 30 knots. I saw it.
Did anyone else?
I'm the navigator.
You also have a stake in the game, though.
Trust me,
I think
please.
you need a second witness.
I know.
I think you need a second there.
Well, if anyone was watching at home, please confirm.
They can't see the screen.
That's right. This is supposed to be
Oh, they
tonight's
can
bingo.
now. Okay.
I just filled it in, but I
It's
don't
up
think
to
it should
29
be.
again.
Oh, you don't think it
It's
should count?
tonight's.
It's, well...
It is
It's
tonight.
tonight.
Tomorrow morning.
This is tonight's.
Ah,
What?
Yeah. So it's kind of.
we're just planning it today. We're gonna
Oh.
do it tonight, apparently.
I see.
Oh, sorry.
Really?
Oh, see, 30.05, 30.01.
I didn't see that.
Wait.
On the yellow win up here?
Yeah,
Where are you
at
looking?
the... Yep.
Yeah, I didn't see 30.
Rain started.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's rain. Oof. I bet you Ed's outside.
Yes.
I just saw it get up to 29.05 there.
That... This is aggravating.
I'm gonna keep blinking when it hits 30.
Take a look at the weather and
See, now it's below 25.
cam aft right now.
I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, what I was saying is the bridge does a very good job of keeping us a lot of times within like 0.2 of the line when they can. Obviously, the system won't really do that when you're getting this much forces affecting it.
Well, hopefully with this storm hitting now, it'll die down right after.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think the rain on the deck cam actually is a nice effect.
Oh, like amplifying information about this little storm here. From the extent of my knowledge, it is just going to pass. And then we'll probably not get 30 knots for a while. So
Definitely not tonight.
yeah, we slowed forward motion for a minute, so a lot of times with changing conditions, the ship does its calculations again, and figures out how much thrust it needs to put in what direction. So now you'll see the white vector is actually going more like north-northwest. So it kind of squiggled a little bit while it was compensating and moved along its way. We're back up to a knot.
Can hear the rain on the...
Oh, I thought that was a fan.
Nope.
No, that's the rain.
Wow.
There was one summer we
Yeah.
were in here and the bosun started pressure washing the side shipping container and we all like
And
jumped
then-
out of our seats.
And then probably painted it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, this is it's a really good looking boat.
Mm.
Oh
yeah.
They put a lot of hours into it, especially for being built in '67.
Well, you should have seen it in 2009 when we first used it. It did not look anything like this. There's been a lot of shipyard work done on this over time, like a little bit each off season.
I can imagine.
Not a lot has changed since I was last on, but they did a lot of improvements between 2009 and like 2013. I mean, the traction winch is new, but that didn't change the look of the ship.
Got
Yeah.
a new wet lab this
What?
year.
Yeah, and the wet lab is new, which looks really nice. Oh, that's just new this year?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, the winch is new this year too.
Oh, wow, okay, cool.
So much new, and the KVM system.
Yeah,
And I'm new this year.
well,
No,
Yeah.
no one. Okay.
I was just going to go there.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
And goodbye USBL.
Is that from the rain? Some of it?
Maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, I think all this rain is changing the salinity.
Yeah, but
Well, rain is
We're-
noisy.
I think it's just their compensation.
Okay, for
so
anyone
the
watching, that was
thrusters.
totally a joke.
Yeah. Are you saying surface rain doesn't affect 3,300 meters down?
Good.
Eventually.
It's going to cut the salinity in half. With all this rain? No, that's a joke. Don't take that seriously. You never know who's watching. Might take me seriously.
Just imagine me in high school, like writing some science paper, and it's like, oh, they said it, and then I turn it off right before you say that, and write it into a paper. My teacher's like, that is so wrong. Where did you get this?
Nautilus Live!
That was-
Everything they say is correct.
yeah, usually I try to follow up what I say with don't quote me on that. Maybe look it up more, or like I try to divert to people with better expertise. It's my knowledge on a lot of stuff is more of that jack of all trades, master of none. Really, it's just I watch a lot of Science Channel.
Oh my god.
I do take a lot of science classes too. I'm a strong believer that there's nothing in this world that you can't learn from Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye or Miss Frizzle.
Miss Frizzle, oh my
It's
god.
all of the important
Is that the
things you
science
need.
channel you watch?
No, that was Miss Frizzle was
That's
back.
Magic School Bus.
Magic School
yeah,
Bus,
back
that's
in
what I'm saying.
in
Is that-
school,
is that
you
on
know,
the science
they'd
channel
roll
or
in the TV cart with the VCR, and you'd get all excited.
It wasn't it on Netflix or something for a while?
That was a TV show? I just knew it was books.
Magic
was
School
no,
Bus?
They
TV
had
show.
It was
shows
a
too.
TV show.
Oh wow. Well, we already established I'm old, so.
I mean, we saw some of the books too, but we were still watching. I think I remember watching one episode or two sophomore year of high school. So
I saw one very recently, and I don't remember why. But I think it was like just on Netflix, and one of my friends decided they wanted to watch Magic School Bus.
I think it's kind of like when you're
Oh, we
talking.
have Scopazzi watching us. Hi,
We have who?
Scopazzi. Your intern. Right?
Where are they watching from?
Scopazzi, hello, how you doing? Looking forward to seeing you.
Very soon. So we have a question about if the cable is spool responsive enough to reel in and out to compensate for the Nautilus heave in stormy conditions.
No, you when you pay in or pay out with the winch, it would take too long for that motion to even get down to that depth before the heave is changed. It has to be a constant like motion, so it wouldn't work. Good suggestion though. I'm gonna mark this target.
Yay, we have a new target.
58. So it is 80 meters to port.
80 to port. Roger. This one's gonna be a little rough. I'll try to get in the middle of this USBL
Yeah, just do your best.
mess.
I mean, we did decently going over them again last night, so I was pleased with that.
Do you have a description?
No.
Okay.
This high shadow.
All right.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a rock, but it was something that looked interesting.
Give us something to do.
Yeah. Don't want you guys getting too bored.
We're so happy to have so many followers still with us, even if this has been pretty uneventful scanning day.
We'll get there.
All right, I am done with that screen if you need to
Alright.
close it.
Gonna hit save, because otherwise I'll forget. And yeah, file is 21.001.
Perfect.
It's a nice ridge there.
Yeah. I think he's coming next week. holes.
Any new sea cucumbers? Not really, right?
We kind of gave up on that.
There's been a couple off to the side that are probably sea cucumbers, but nothing really
That's
definitive.
funny. Look, the wind's down to like 10. That's amazing. Let's drop 20 knots in like 5 minutes. That's incredible. That's like Florida weather.
So did you guys reset USBL, or are you just gonna wait it out?
Oh,
Or is
no.
it- or is this
Doesn't-
good?
I mean, a reset doesn't really do anything.
Got it.
Yeah, it's not gonna.
They're all kind of independent fixes.
As soon as the noise is gone, it'll fix itself. But until then, it would still, we'd
Got it.
start it over and it would still keep going. Unfortunately.
Welcome to the people in Indonesia that are following us now.
Doing
That's super
okay?
cool. So what were the things that you guys or the whole team took into consideration when they designed the grid that we were going to scan?
Sure. So there was a single point, a latitude longitude coordinate for the crash location, which was in the incident report that the team was able to dig up in the archives. So that was the center point for the 2 by 2 mile grid that we are about to complete. And then we also had other information such as witness reports who saw the crash from the mainland. So like they estimated it was like 12 miles north of a certain point and 10.5 miles from a bay, that sort of thing. And those do also plot in this general area. And in addition to that, the ship Avocet as well as an aircraft came out after the crash and observed an oil plume coming, as they described it, straight up from the seabed. So we took that to mean it wasn't like drifting far across the surface. It was more like they could see where it was coming up. And then there was some pieces of wreckage and debris floating on the surface, and some also a few days later washed up in places to the north and to the east. So also knowing the surface current, the swell from that day, which is to the northeast, we assumed that the best place to look after this initial grid, which basically is a mile around in each direction around the coordinate, was to look to the west and the south, because the origin of that oil plume and the wreckage, if it drifted to the northeast, would be to the southwest. So we finished the initial box. Slightly disappointed it wasn't closer to the reported coordinate, but we're now moving our survey to the west to try to begin. Oh, the other thing to note is that the latitude of the point of the coordinate was down to the second and the longitude was down to the minute. So we figure there's more variation likely in the longitude, which is why we're going to move west before we move south. So, we've taken all that into consideration. That's kind of how we designed both the initial survey and the sort of plan B, C, and D as we continue on in the search for it.
And what about the currents?
So the currents we know were moving, the surface current and the swell was moving to the northeast on the day of the crash. We don't know what the bottom currents or the deeper water was doing. And I did some oceanographic research, and it seems like there's not a particularly strong constant current in this area, probably because it's blocked by some of the islands and some of these volcanic rises.